Ma'am, should we start with the session, ma'am? Mamta, ma'am? Mamta, ma'am? Am I audible?
Yes, Sanobar ma'am, we can start.
Mamta, ma'am?
I can hear you, ma'am. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Rasika, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Mamta,
much.
ma'am, are you there, Mamta, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am. Ma'am, are you able to hear me? Because I think I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Yes, okay.
Ma'am, should we start with the session?
Yes, ma'am, we can start. We are ready.
I'll just give the brief introduction of Mamta, ma'am. Then we will start with the session. Our speaker for today's session is Miss Mamta Pandya. Mamta Pandya is an entrepreneur, art of living teacher for 10 years, mediator, Sanskriti student, art lover. At a young age of 23, she started her own business. She is founder of printing and packaging business. She comes with powerhouse of learning in entrepreneurship and multitasking, a die-hard leader and sincere learner. Currently, she is working with lots of colleges, embedding spiritual learning in them to bring in holistic growth. Okay. This is just a brief introduction of Mamta, ma'am. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am. We'll continue with the session. I just welcome you from Department of Information Technology, Tharumal Shahani Engineering College for this FDP session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Very humbled with your welcome and introduction. Good afternoon, Thampi sir. So glad to have you here in the session. And I welcome all the faculty members to this amazing FDP session. And thank you for the Tharumal Shahani College of Engineering for inviting me for today's session. So I believe that there is a 5-day FDP which is going on, and we'll be doing a very interesting session now. So before we go forward, first I would like all the faculty members, if we can have our cameras on. So I would really like to see everyone, and this would also give me a very big motivation so that we can go ahead with the session. Yes. Thank you, Sai Kumar sir. Thank you, Reshma ma'am. Even the others, all the other faculty members. Yes, I know we are in college, or we might be in our homes, or maybe, remotely doing everything online. But yes, we can have our cameras on. So I think this is the 5th day of an FDP session, right, Sanobar ma'am?
तो चिल्लाएंगे हम लोग पोल पे आप बोला.
Yeah. Yes. So this is the 5th day of the session.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So I think a lot of technical discussions and technical topics would have been discussed in past 4-5 days. So today we are definitely going to talk about technology, talk about something technical, but of a different world. So before I move forward, I'll start sharing my screen and then we can take it up. So can we all see this image of a pottery? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I have always seen the role of a teacher as a potter who is shaping the future of the country. So, when we are into a faculty development session, when we are upgrading ourselves, okay, I always see that the teachers, when they are teaching, when they are, in the field of knowledge, the first thing that we are doing is we are shaping the future of the country. Isn't it? Do you agree with me? Yes. So I couldn't have found a better parallel to this to this role of a teacher, where step by step, how a potter from just you know, a clay, it is being formed to a very beautiful pot. So I see that how we see how a faculty should see itself is first is shaping the future. I'll just go to the second slide. Yes. So one of the things that we see is what is the purpose of education? Time and again, it's very important that we keep revisiting the purpose of education. Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji has always said that the purpose of education is to build good, strong, talented personality. And spirituality is that which builds you into a wonderful personality. Now, if we see, the 21st century has completely changed everything. The 21st century is now compelling all educators and education institutes to transform and bring a full 360-degree shift in their completely approach to the education. Do you agree with me? Yes. And especially the pandemic has taught us a lot. Something that we wouldn't have imagined. I think we have almost carried out our entire academic year online. Yes. And the teachers were the first one who were put to all the challenges and have seen, past 1 year, I have worked with more than 50 colleges with different engagements, and I've seen how much our teachers have worked, and in no time we have upgraded ourselves to deliver everything online. Yes. So this is something, a big achievement that our teachers have done, our educators have done. And I really bow down to this spirit that there is no student who was left untouched by this knowledge online. So do you all agree with me? I would really like to see some things in the chat. You could reply on the chats, whatever you feel while we are discussing. Yes. But at the same time, there is a bigger challenge that is there in front of us. If you see, the role of a teacher has changed. The role of a teacher is now a facilitator, and a student has become the leader. In times to come, with so many online platforms that are available like Byju's, White Jar, e-learning platforms, we see, and students starting to learning coding at the age of 7 and 8 is something which is alarming. And we see that students are quite informed. Everything that you teach is available on Google. आप जो भी उनको सिखाएंगे, आप जो भी टॉपिक उनसे टच करने वाले हैं, वो गूगल पे अवेलेबल है. At times they have already touched in their lower class. So how do we, upgrade ourselves? Or I won't say upgrade. How do we align with the millennials? Because I see that teachers are always ahead. They don't need to upgrade. They have to align with the times. And education is meant not just to make us tablets of information, but living examples of higher standards of ethics. Yes. So few challenges that are there in front of us, because everything is so going online. We see that the millennial is exposed to everything. The challenges that the youth face, the first is attention deficiency. Okay, the entire algorithm of social media is such that every 2 minutes there is a new information coming, and suddenly that has affected in our brains. We think something and 5 minutes later we forget it, and then directly it comes to our mind 2 days later. There is a major attention deficiency not only in students, but we also see that it is coming in teenagers and adults. Emotional confusion, low energy levels, stress, addiction to social media, gadgets, smoking, alcohol, getting influenced by wrong mediums of media, drugs, and there are so many challenges that our youth face. There was a study by Podar Education in Mumbai, which was also published in Times of India. It said 40% of our youth are depressed, and out of which 13% of parents and teachers are not aware. And we see that till a very, very long time, students are not settled. They are completely exposed with so much of information that there is big confusion around. And the rate of depression is rising. So how do we tackle this? What knowledge and what part is something that our faculty members and teachers can touch upon? So when I spoke about technology, there is one technology of the outer world and there is one technology of the inner world. Often it is said that what is it that a Google can't answer? Okay, but yes, there is a major difference between a Google and a guru, a Google and a teacher. That is transformation of experience, transformation of ethics. This is something that Google cannot give. Our Indian knowledge system has always defined the knowledge in two aspects. The one is Paravidya and the other is Aparavidya. Okay. The Paravidya is the knowledge of outside, the technology that we achieve. It's also called material science or it is called Avidya. The aim of the Paravidya is to make us capable and grow forward to experience the entire material science that we are in. So everything that we do, हम जो भी करते हैं, हमारी जो inventions हैं, discoveries हैं, all the technology advancements from cyber security to quantum physics to finance, surviving in the corporate world, getting married, science, all the commerce, education, career, being married, having a stable relationships, everything that we do is part of Paravidya. And somehow we have seen that the human mind, that the human race have gone way ahead, and we have reached the pinnacle of the material science. As much as that, everything is become machine based. Do you agree with me? Yes, can I see a thumbs up and can I see a yes from everyone on the chat? Yes. So with world and with technology, coming up with new things every day, the Paravidya is definitely reaching its heights. But something that we have lagged behind is, and we see that at one hand, there is a rise of capitalism, there is a rise of technology. We have places like Silicon Valley which have been developed. We see that we are reaching Mars, we are reaching moons, but at the same time the depression rate is going very high, and the figures are very alarming. The number of people that die of stress and anxiety and loneliness is 2 times more than the number of people who've died of corona till now. Last year WHO said that the mental health is going to be a bigger pandemic. तो हम सब ने ये अनुभव किया है that at the level of emotions, at the level of mind, we are going backwards, and there is a big imbalance here. Agar there should be a perfect balance between the Paravidya and Aparavidya. And what is Aparavidya? It's the Vidya of, it's the technology of the inside world, the value and ethics, mind matters, emotional intelligence, relationship management, take social responsibility, understand local governance, ecological footprint, life choices, care for one another, clarity of mind, building future, interpersonal skills, and all the values that directly connect with the inside world. And this is one of the important aspects we see that has to be part of education. And this is the core base of our Indian knowledge system. And today's world is giving a very, very alarming need of the entire aspect of self-discovery and Aparavidya. So we are in the 21st century. We are dealing with the millennials. So the teachers have always played an important part in transformative the entire system. You know, whenever a new century has begun, it has started with a transformation from teachers. And who is a 21st century educator? So this is an exact picture of a superhero. A 21st century superhero is a super teacher. Now, if we see the entire role of a superhero, the one hand is up and there is one hand which is down. This is how a superhero travels. This is how a superhero transforms. Now, what does it mean? So the one hand that is going up is the focus on the aparavidya. And the second hand, which is going down, is the paravidya. So there is a balance that the teacher has to have in life. The first balance is pulling your students up. So if you see, coming back to the superhero photograph, can we all see this? Yeah. So the hand which is down, it pulls the students up with all the knowledge that a teacher has, with all the paravidya, the knowledge of material science, the knowledge of this existential world is with which you can pull your students up. And there is one hand which goes up. So a teacher, okay, has to constantly upgrade herself, upgrade himself with the aparavidya, with the knowledge of self-discovery. Whenever at times so much of our time goes in pulling the students up, we have always forgotten to, align ourselves and upgrade ourselves with the higher knowledge. So the teacher has to be a right balance, and which is makes you a superhero. While you are pulling your students up, you have to also keep a hand up so that you are always, being pulled up by the higher knowledge, by the higher consciousness towards your stream of excellency. Do you agree with me? Yes, everyone? Can I have a yes? All the teachers, all the faculty members? I would really appreciate if our cameras are on. Let's take this time out. It's going to be an hour's 1 hour session. And we would really like to, have most of it. So really, I would appreciate if all the cameras are on. Deepak sir, Priyanka, Mohana, sir, Nihal sir, Satyendra ji, everyone. So this is very important to know that as teachers, we are superhero and we have to keep upgrading ourselves. But how do we upgrade ourselves? What is it that takes us to the aparavidya? Because with this knowledge is where you can bring the stability in the life of the student. With this knowledge is where you can guide and transform your experiences to the student. At the same time, you can also keep evolving and grow as an individual and as a teacher. So the path of self-discovery, what is it that we do? How do we get there? So I want to keep this session something which is very, very, direct, something which makes us apply something very basic. So something that has worked for me, and I have seen that it has worked with so many individuals out there, is focusing on our source of energy. Energy is always the basis of what we do in life. And you are all teachers, you all have mastered the different types of energy. And we know that energy is something that can never be destroyed or never be created. So there is an energy which is there constant in every one of us. But definitely we can channelize it in the way we want. So there are few sources of energy that we see. When we focus on these aspects, we become very balanced, and our entire absorption of the aparavidya the knowledge of the inside, the technology of the inside grows. So the first is food, something very, very gross, something very important and direct. And if we see, most of the time this is taken care, of course, with students, this is something which they have to really balance it, because they indulged into so much of outside food, junk food. They always want to try new up. But I think as adults, when we go reach a certain age, there is definitely a balance comes in. However, there are few things in the food that we can take care. The first is, food is very important part of our life. Having food at the right time, in the right manner, is very, very important. You know, at times we have our lectures, there are college technical fairs, we have submissions, you have to assess so many papers, you have to take vivas, and you keep forgetting yourself. And there is a lot of imbalance in the food. But food has to be taken care. Okay. So check on your food. As teachers, it's important that the right nutrition goes, because so much of the brain is used. For people who are working at a physical level, it's very different. Okay. But here we need to consume food that directly enhances the capacity of our brain. It brings in so much of stability in us. I always recommend to take care of the 5 white things in your life and abstain of it as much as possible. White sugar is something which is not recommended. Cut down the white sugar in your life. It is said that 1 spoon of white sugar brings down the immunity system for 4 hours. So take out the white sugar in your life. And especially now in pandemic, where we see that the internal immune system has to be so much more stronger. In few months, you will be working with hundreds of students, in your classrooms, in your college premises. Hence, your immunity is as priority. So white sugar, white flour, maida, something that you should avoid. Maida is something that clings on to our intestine for 4 to 5 days, and which affects our brain directly, functions of the brain. So it's always a good idea to bring down the white flour, the maida. If we see the Western world, due to the white bread, consumption of white bread, there is a particular hormone that rises up, and it directly affects the stress levels. Today, 80% of the Europe is depressed. So food is also playing an important role. White flour, then white salt. It's always a good idea to use our desi pink salt, the Himalayan salt. The white salt has lots of sodium, not good for our body. Also, these days there is so much of chemicalization. So this is the third thing. Okay. Yes. White bread, remove it. So these are few things that you can take care of your food. Another source of energy is sleep. Okay, very, very important. First thing that every adult does is that as soon as you have important aspects of your life, okay, you see that we compromise on our sleep. I am in touch with some of the teachers of different engineering colleges, and they tell me that till 3 a.m. They are making their class lessons, they are correcting papers, they are doing assessments, and 3 a.m. in the night they sleep, and then again they have to rise up and get ready for a morning 9 a.m. lectures. So yes, the sleep is getting affected a lot. So I would really recommend that sleep is very important source of energy. Don't compromise on your sleep. The third is the breath. So food and sleep is something we are taking care of by ourselves, and something which is such a inherent part of the human system, our biological system. But breath is a very important source of energy. Breath is the first act of our life. When we breathe in, it's the first act. It also the last act of our life, which is breathe out. Everything that we do is done with the channelization of our breath. And I see that breath is such an important tool, and we can achieve the sky if we use our breath. So very important to learn some breath works. Very important to take care of the breath. So we have touched upon food, we have touched upon sleep. These are two important sources of energy. The third is the breath. So should we practice some breathing techniques? Should we learn some breath works? If I can get a yes from all the faculty members, then we can experience. You can probably raise your hand, type it on the chat. Okay, I can see from Anita ma'am, everyone else, Sheetal ji, yes, I want to see a yes from all the teachers. Yes. Okay, good, that's great. So something that we will learn is that will give us instant relief, the breath works. Yeah. So the first breath work that we will learn is called the breath work of sound. It's also called the Bhramari Pranayam. Okay. Something very, very simple. I would really appreciate if we can have our cameras on so that I can see that we are doing in the right way. Yes, this will, for some time, I'll require your cameras to be on. Yeah. Perfect. So the posture in Bhramari Pranayam goes in that the thumb is placed on our ears. हमारा जो अंगूठा है ये हमारे कान के ऊपर हमें रखना है, okay, and our 4 fingers, okay, are placed on our eyes. This is the posture of the sound breath work, okay, the Bhramari Pranayam. With this posture, we will make the bee sound, the honeybee sound. I'll just demonstrate it. You breathe in. Okay, so we will make this sound 3 times with the same posture. Are we ready for it? Yes? Okay. Also, I would request the host to allow me the screen sharing options. If I can be made a co-host. Yes, I think Thampi sir is the host. Sir, if I can be made a co-host.
You are already the host.
Sir, hosting rights are with you. I think you have logged in.
I converted you as the host.
Yes, sir. But sir, I think you logged in back. So now it's automatically come to you back.
Oh, that's correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the Bhramari Pranayam. Let's take the posture. All the other teachers, let's have our cameras on. Yes. And with our eyes closed, let's make the bee sound. One more time. Another time. And relax, eyes closed. Gently relax. Observe the mind. Observe the breath. Attention in words. Now let's take up the Bhramari Pranayam again. Posture. One more time. And relax. Attention inwards. And you may gently open your eyes. धीरे से आंखें खोल सकते हैं. Are we back? Okay. So if you can share, how are you feeling? Is there a difference in the mind and your thoughts? Himani ma'am, how are you? How is your mind?
Yeah, ma'am. I can feel the peace and automatically somehow the smile is on my face. So there's a difference in the mood what I felt after doing this.
Yes, yes. So, you know, when we use our breath, there is an instant effect on our thoughts and our mind. We see, especially this sound breath work, the Bhramari Pranayam, the first is when there is so much of noise, you know, in your mind, there are so many thoughts there's going, there's so much of activity. When we do the Bhramari Pranayam, the sound breath work, it automatically silences our mind and we see that there is so much peace. And breath has a direct link between our emotions. Every emotions of our has a corresponding breathing technique. We see that, you know, when we are angry, our breathing is fast. This is how we, you know, if there is an anger coming in, the breathing rhythm goes faster. Something when we are relaxed, we see that our breathing is very slow. You know, it's like smelling a rose. This is how we smell a rose, and this is how our breathing rhythm is when we are relaxed. When we are scared, our breath stops. हमारी सांसें रुक जाती है. Similarly, every emotion has a corresponding breathing technique. So when we breathe in different rhythms, when we breathe in different patterns, it has direct effect on our mind. And our breath is the link between the mind and the body. This is how important our breath is. So many times, you know, we have been told that, okay, let's concentrate better. So many times we have said, okay, relax. But at the level of mind, there is no tool which has been given to us. Even when we were students, we were always told by our parents, ek jagah pe baith ke padho, concentrate karo, focus karo. Isn't it? Yes, and this is something that we pass it on to our students. But neither in school, neither in college, we have been ever taught how to manage the mind. If you see that we always say that the students don't have concentration, they don't have attention capacity. But actually, it's not the case. When they are watching the IPL match, when they are on their Netflix, they are clinged onto the television for 1 hour. Okay, so it's not that the concentration or the attention capacity in our mind is not there. We just don't know how to channelize it when required. We don't have the remote control, the button of our mind in our hands. And breath brings you that power. Breath brings the remote control of our mind in our hand. So I will just, you know, draw something and just something that has always, yes. So let me draw something. Okay. Can we see the screen sharing? If you can unmute and share, can you see it?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
Okay, fine. Now we will do some free. Okay. So what is this?
It's a kite.
It's a kite, right? Yes. So if you see a kite, can the kite, is there any use of kite without the string? Suppose we just had a kite and we did not have a string. Do you think the kite would be useful?
Make it as a wall hanger.
You can't really use it, right? You can probably just keep it as a showpiece somewhere, but you can't really use the kite, right? You can't fly a kite. So the kite is like a mind, or our mind is like a kite. If you see, the kite goes everywhere in every direction. And this string is our breath. So the way we control the kite with the string, जैसे हम मांझे से जो पतंग है उसको कंट्रोल करते हैं, similarly with the breath we can control our mind. This is the higher science of self. This is the higher science of the internal technology. With the help of the breath, we can have direct control over mind. And this is something we just experienced. We just did the sound breath work, the Brahmari Pranayam for a few minutes, and there was an instant difference that we saw in the state of mind. Similarly, there are many breathing. The higher, I will also talk about the sky breathing technique. So this is how the breath affects us. And our breath is something that is with us, isn't it? You don't have to go something outside. It's like we are sitting on a wealth. वो कुबेर के जैसे हम बैठे हैं पूरे wealth पे, वैसे ही the breath is with us. And with this, we can really, achieve wonders. So this was the third source of energy. The fourth source of energy is the positive state of mind, a happy state of mind. That is the main aspect of achieving the self-discovery. It is the important source to achieve the aparavidya, and which is through meditation. So when it comes to a positive state of mind, I would first like all of us to experience it. So would you all want to experience a short meditation now, a short guided meditation? Please unmute yourself and say yes, use the chat box. And I would really like to see a yes from everyone before we go ahead.
Yes, madam.
Okay, I can see from Archana ma'am, Venkatesh sir, Bharti ma'am. I can see from Vijal sir, Anita ma'am, Bharti ma'am. I want to see a yes from everyone. Yes, Sunita ma'am, I've not heard from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sunita ma'am. Okay. So one request, during the meditation, let's have our cameras on. I know you are on the other side now. So this time you want to have this freedom of, keeping your cameras off. Usually we always keep telling our students this, but yeah, we can definitely, for 10-15 minutes, let's do this. Okay. So meditation. Before that, let's do some light stretches. Okay. We can just shake our hands, something to move our body. We have been sitting since long. Let's do. The fingers will not fall. We can do it faster. Little bit of shoulder rotations, clockwise, anti-clockwise. And relax. Let's do some neck rotation. Bend it towards the right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, up, down, up, down, up, down, right, left, up, down, up, down, up, down, and relax. For next few minutes, we'll be keeping our eyes closed and only gently following instructions. Meditation is deconcentration. In meditation, we don't have to concentrate on anything. There are 3 golden rules to sit for a very beautiful meditation. The first is that I want nothing. Okay. For next few minutes, just forget about everything and see that you want to achieve nothing. The third is I am nothing. Drop all your identities of a teacher, of a mother, of a father, of a colleague, of a brother, of a teacher, everything. Just drop all the identities. Okay? And I want to achieve nothing. Nothing is that you want to achieve in this moment. These are 3 golden principles of meditation. Achaha, akinchan and aprayatna. जब हम ये 3 को साथ में लेते हैं तब हम ध्यान में गहराई से जा सकते हैं. तो अभी हम सिर्फ हमारा काम है कि हम थोड़े समय अपनी आंखें बंद रखेंगे और जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस आ रहे हैं उसे जेंटली फॉलो करना है. Very gently, just take your attention. We will be given some instructions and take your attention and then just leave it. Okay? Can we all do that? Yes? Mukesh sir, are you ready for a meditation? Okay. Eyes closed. Take a gentle breath in. And breathe out. Take another breath in. And let go. Gently take your attention to your environment. अपने आसपास के परिसर पे जो भी है उसके प्रति सजग हो जाएं. Everything that is there in your environment, the air, the sky, the buildings, the highway, the roads, your house, your college, your office, just become aware of it. Breathe in and breathe out. Now gently take your attention to all the sounds in your surrounding. आपको जो भी ध्वनियां सुनाई दे रही है उसके प्रति सजग हो जाएं. The sound of the AC, the sound of the fan, the sound of the traffic or people talking. Become aware of all the sounds in your surrounding. Breathe in and breathe out. Now become aware of all the thoughts that are coming to your mind. जो भी विचार आ रहे हैं उसके प्रति सजग हो जाएं. good thoughts or bad thoughts. Let all the thoughts come in. Do not resist them. Observe your thoughts. Breathe in and breathe out. Now gently take your attention to your right foot, your right knee, and your entire right leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your attention to your left leg, left knee, and your entire left leg. Breathe in and breathe out. Now gently take your attention to your navel region. Attention on your chest. Take your attention on your right arm, right shoulder, and your entire right hand. Take your attention on your left shoulder, left hand. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently take your attention to your throat region. Attention in between your eyebrows. Top of your head. And on your entire body. Attention on your entire body. Breathe in and breathe out. Gently take your attention to your feelings. अपनी भावनाओं के प्रति सजग हो जाएं। Breathe in and breathe out. Now take your attention to your sensations. यदि आपको शरीर में कोई भी स्पंदन महसूस हो रहा हो, उसके प्रति सजग हो जाएं. Become aware of the sensation in your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax more and more. पूरी तरह से विश्राम करें. Observe the silence. Breathe in and breathe out. Relax more and more. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Very slowly, very gently, become aware of your environment. Become aware of all the sounds. Become aware of your body. And gently, whenever you feel, you may open your eyes. धीरे से आप आंखें खोल सकते हैं. Gently open your eyes. You can type a yes or show a thumbs up once you are back. You can also just, yes, Gopal sir, Dr. Gopal. How is your experience, sir?
Yeah, now I'm feeling very relaxed. Though I'm sitting in the office chair only, still I'm doing the what your asanas you told us. So I had done that. Basically, the first one was very good, highly relaxing.
Wow.
Thanks a lot.
Yes. Please, I would invite to share your experience. How is the mind after meditation? How are you feeling? Please use the chat box. You can unmute and share. Deepa ma'am, Deepak sir, Sanobar ma'am, please share your experience. Also, we can use the chat box. Yes, Rahul sir says he's feeling good. Himani ma'am, how was your experience? Bharti ma'am says she is relaxed. Yes. Shachi, Dr. Shachi says feeling calm and relaxed, feeling very good. If one of you could unmute and also share. Yes, I am reading all the chats. Shilpa ma'am says very peaceful, very relaxed, Dr. Venkatesh. So we see that, when we are attaining to this few minutes of meditation, automatically the mind is relaxed. We see that we have touched upon that inner source, that inner feeling of void, the inner feeling of consciousness. And when we come from that source, we will see that our quality of our life will be so much better. Just imagine in this state of mind, if you had to take an important decision of the life, you had to, mentor or counsel a student, if you had to address some doctors, PhD professors, if you had to, uh, take an important decision for yourself, don't you think that it would be very different and much more better than we usually do? So much of our time is just, reeling in the thoughts, reeling in the minds. Yes, Rahul sir says that meditation should be included in the curriculum of higher education too, like PhD level, to overcome the anxiety. The one thing that the pandemic has brought is the level of anxiety, the level of unclearness and uncertainty about future. So one of the professors had told me that they were all just looking forward now that, uh, they will get back to their college, start calling their students in smaller batches. But now suddenly, there are rise in cases in our city, and we are back to what we were a few months back. And so there is a constant uncertainty. Constantly, we are going back to the same thing. Though India is much better in terms of, COVID-19 handling it pan India, but yes, we are having our challenges also. But one of the important thing is that our mental health is much better. But it has to go beyond that, especially among students. And this is where a role of a teacher is. Because you can only give what we would have. It's the important aspect for a teacher to first be having a positive state of mind, which comes only through meditation. That tool, that technology of the inside world is when we attend to that space. So I would now, like to share a video. This talks about the effect of the sky breathing technique, the meditation on the vagus nerve. So sky is the Sudarshan Kriya breathing technique that is offered on the Art of Living programs, and it's a breath work which has had many effects on our mind, layers of our consciousness, and it has scientific facts also. So I'm just sharing a video. I would like all the faculty members to please do have a look at this.
Science has acknowledged a mind-body connect as early as 1872. The Orient has had the knowledge of this important connect for thousands of years and has succeeded in developing some powerful techniques to help modulate the mind through the body and vice versa. The human body is a miracle in action. The human nervous system is made of more than 100 billion nerve cells. The nervous system relays information from the brain to the body and back. One of the most important command central for bidirectional communication between the brain and body is the vagus nerve. A nerve probably 99% of the population never heard of nor have a clue of its location. So what is the vagus nerve? Vega in Latin means to wander. This nerve wanders around the body, impacting major organs This being the longest cranial nerve, it controls all involuntary body processes such as breathing, speech, swallowing, heartbeat, blood pressure, hearing, taste, circulation, digestion, and gut health. It also controls bladder movement, orgasms, and fertility. A healthy vagus nerve allows us to access the parts of the brain responsible for creativity, higher cognition, and complex decision making. In the absence of a healthy vagus nerve, we only end up having access to parts of our brain that control primal instincts like fear and fight or flight response. Hence, a healthy vagus nerve is essential for leadership and decision making. The functioning of the vagus nerve can be impaired by stress, anxiety, poor lifestyle, smoking, drinking alcohol and overworking, lack of exercise, proper nutrition and sleep. When the vagus nerve is not able to perform to the best of its ability, the body and mind become susceptible to a range of diseases like depression, anxiety, obesity, cardiovascular disorders, hypertension, diabetes, digestive disorders, chronic inflammation, kidney malfunction, infertility, and even Parkinson's. Doctors have started stimulating the vagus nerve with electric impulses from a device that increases its activity to help with diseases like depression. However, there are natural ways to stimulate the vagus nerve as well, such as breathing, pranayama and meditation, exercise, yoga, omega-3 and probiotic-rich diet, singing and chanting, splashing cold water, laughing, hugging, massages. One of the most effective ways of vagus nerve stimulation is through breath. A powerful breathing technique that has positively impacted millions of people around the world is the Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, taught by the Art of Living Foundation. When one undergoes Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, their breathing and heart rate slows down. The vagus nerve then gathers a signal from multiple organs from the body, notes that things must be calm and restful. It then passes on this message to the brain, which 9 times out of 10 will listen and then allow us to relax, rest and digest. Regular practice of Sudarshan Kriya activates the vagus nerve and has shown to have relieved depression in over 67% of a study's participants, decreased the release of the stress hormone cortisol by 56% and reduced anxiety in 71% of people. It improves deep sleep and hormones that contribute to well-being. Due to the activation of the vagus nerve, one experiences tremendous benefits after Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, like stress resilience, improved immunity, happiness, creativity, stronger relationships, and ability to handle situations. The vagus nerve remains one of the most well-kept secrets of the human body. Love and empathy, a sense of connectedness, intuition, and mental and physical well-being all become integral parts of life when you keep the vagus nerve nurtured and activated.
If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button, comment, and share. Subscribe to this channel for more.
So this effect, this is how more subtler that our breath can grow, and it can activate such an important aspect of our biology, which has direct effect on the mind. And I have seen the effect of the sky meditation, the Sudarshan Kriya. There is so many researches have happened with the American Medical Association, by Indian Medical Association, by AIMS. And what the state of mind you are in, the moment you do Sudarshan Kriya, the sky meditation, it has a big shift that you see it, the energy levels, the clarity that you get, and also the capacity to be able to influencing the world outside. What is immunity? Ultimately, if you see, yes, there are these soldier hormones inside you, that helps you protect. But in simple words, if we see, it's about being able to influence things that are outside. Constantly, we have been affected by the situations and circumstances outside. And now, it has also become so much as subtle as much as, an invisible virus. Earlier, it would be people, situations, something very gross, but now they are becoming more and more subtle in form of invisible viruses. So not only our physical immunity, but our mental immunity has to be very strong. And this is what the breath works, and this is what the Sudarshan Kriya does. I would really invite all the faculty members to experience the sky meditation, the Sudarshan Kriya. And the most important, as I said, which brings the positive state of mind, the fourth source of energy. Yes. When we have a balance of all four, especially the last two, the breath and the positive state, we would see that the apara vidya, coming back to the self-discovery part, the ethics, building up future leaders, interpersonal skills, lifestyle choices, all of this become matured. All of this become very, very inherent. And it leads to a 21st century superhero, where your command over your self-discovery makes you an excellent leader of the Paravidya. And that is where we look forward to the shaping the future. Whenever a doctor is treating the present life of a person. When someone who is an artist is directly impacting someone's mind at that point of time, isn't it? There are so many different professions. Someone who is an amazing chef is directly impacting someone who is, serving at that point. But when it comes to teacher, the teacher first is shaping the future. And this is where the role of a teacher, the role of a faculty is so important. Because when we are shaping the life of the future, we don't have to think what is relevant now. We have to see what is going to be relevant few decades from now. It's like, we have to time travel ourselves. We have to transcend the time now and accordingly mold the future of our future generation, the future of our country. And that transcending of the mind, that transcending, that time travel comes from meditation. It makes you so full in this moment that you can have a larger vision for yourself, a larger vision for your institution, a larger vision for your student. Hence, the command over the apara vidya is the most important. And being a 21st century educator is like being a superhero. Do you all agree with me? Yes? I would like to see agree or a yes in the chat box. I'm waiting for all the rewards. Yes, I get a yes from Dr. Gopal. I can see some of you have already replying me on my personal chat that you completely agree. One of the professors said that yes, breathworks is so important that it should be first given to the faculty members, isn't it? Yes. Yes, Meenal Lopez ji, you completely agree. Yeah, I can see. Probably you can share your experiences and your thoughts on of what we have spoken till now. Sanjay sir, I can see Chetan sir here. I would like to hear from you, sir. So,
Professor sir, Shai is speaking.
Yes, sir.
Professor sir, Shai is speaking. Chetan can speak.
Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, it was very relaxing after doing that exercise a bit. but I feel like somehow we should put it on daily basis. Then only we will get the real benefit in long terms. Like I was feeling quite nice after that exercise. A bit relaxation came out. Ki I will now start doing something in a more better manner by focusing more on that thing. So that focus factor came. That was my advantage point when I did that exercise of closing the eyes and all the things and taking that deep breath very nicely, sir. So that was very nice and very relaxing towards the end of the FDP. I hope the participants might also have been relaxed after hearing so much quantum
Hello.
with this FDP.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It was very nice
So,
session, ma'am.
This process is also approximately quantum behavior only. It is essentially I'm serious.
Yeah.
It is essentially related with the quantum behavior of particle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very much, sir.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
This Ms. Mamta's session is one of the best.
Yeah, sir. It was very relaxing,
Seriously,
very inspiring, very all the participants were gathered by madam together and interaction was also very good amongst other these things.
And she is also with a lot of world class this content, the video content,
Yes.
and these are focused people, highly dedicated people. Therefore, the difference.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was very nice that you accepted and was a part of our FDP course.
For hereafter, all the FDP, we can invite her.
Yes, sure, sir.
Even this chemical department is also coming with another FDP. Yeah.
Sir, neurobits are activated, sir.
Yes.
Qubits were activated initially, and in this session, our neurobits got activated, sir.
Correct.
Sir, in the FE induction programs also we can try keeping.
I think she might have been there, Mudita might have contacted you.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, ma'am has already for the one that is coming up in June, sir. Yes. In fact, sir, as Chetan sir said, something to imbibe them to take up daily. Probably planning the sky meditation program for all the teachers who would be interested. So in the time when everyone is free after your semesters are over, it could be taken up for them.
That would be a nice exercise.
So
that would be a nice thing, sir. We can look forward for such concepts.
So yes, sir, this is a bit from my side, and I see that all our, professors, our doctors, our PhD themselves, all having a strong command over the Paravidya, and now, the self-discovery part, which is making them more stronger, sir. And that is where we see our educators shaping the future, sir. Yes.
Excellent articulation. Thanks a lot.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a wonderful and nice talk on meditation, ma'am. All the participants, they might have enjoyed with your session and relaxed also.
Yes. Ma'am, from AICTE, we have a feedback form that is given to the Art of Living. So I'm just posting a Google form if that can be filled by the faculty members.
Okay, ma'am, I will send the link to all the participants.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks a lot. Okay.
Yeah, and sir, we would like to take a photograph of everyone. So if we can have our cameras on for a photograph, it will be great.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone, all the faculty members, maybe for once we can have our cameras on. Yes. We can all smile. Okay, I see all the 21st century educators here. Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Thampi, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah.
You are an inspiration, a wizard who always brings up something new. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Okay, thanks a lot.
There is one announcement for the participants. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, then I can take a leave?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
What was the best part of the session?
All the participants, we are sending the link at 2:30 in your register email ID. The link will be active from 2:30 to 3:30. 1 hour we are giving for the test. 30 questions, 1 hour. Okay. 2:30. 2:30
2:30 को test है.
And after that, at 3:30, we are having the valedictory function in the same MS Team links, Microsoft Team link. Okay, you have to join the same link at 2:30 also, and the session will be continued. Your test will be there till 3:30, and 3:30 we are having valedictory function. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.